What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're new here, my name is Devontae Kelly, and I'm now a third grade teacher in the Middle Tennessee area. And today is the first day back for teachers. It is July 31st. It is around 6:45-ish. I got here a little bit early, about an hour before I needed to, before things started, because I wanted to get this video out to you guys as soon as I could. You might be noticing a couple of things. Number one, I'm sitting and not standing. I know I talk about this table all the time, how much I love standing at it. I'm sitting today. You might also see my two new best friends back here, Crutch 1 and Crutch 2. And that's because this past weekend I had slipped on the steps chasing my nephew and had messed up my toe a little bit. So I'll be hobbling around for hopefully just a couple more days. It honestly feels a lot better now than it has when it first started. So hopefully the healing process is quickly happening. But as the title says, this is going to be a super quick Q&A, as well as a brief explanation of my classroom management and how I'll be managing my classroom this year. So you guys might have remembered a couple weeks ago when I put out my quick update video, I asked you guys to send me in some questions, and you guys did that. I also posted it on Instagram, and a lot of people were asking very similar questions. So I'm just gonna lump them all together, and hopefully I'll answer them all. If I missed your question and you want it answered, just type it in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer it there. Apologies if I missed it. So let's go ahead and get started. I put them lumped together in order that made sense to me. So I had a couple of questions about what made me want to be an elementary teacher. So I have those kind of together. And then the next group is about like my master's program and how I juggled, work and school. I put that together. And then there's another one about why I wanted to move to third grade. And that kind of goes into like my master's program a little bit. And then the last one was about classroom management, which is great because I've been wanting to talk about that anyway. And I know that you guys have been asking me that in just about every setup video that I posted. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So big one about that, why I want to be an elementary teacher. I knew that I just wanted to be a teacher, period. When I was growing up, my grandmother, she wasn't a teacher, but she worked in a school. She worked in their child care program as their director. And I spent many afternoons and many summers with her doing that. And it was so cool to like see how other kids looked up to my grandma and how much she like impacted their lives. Actually, I gave a speech to some college graduates this past spring, and she was a big part of that speech as well. So basically that's who made me realize like, oh yeah, I want to be a teacher. I want to work in a school. I want to make sure that I want to help kids like she helped kids. Now, funny story though, when I went to college, I actually did not want to be an elementary teacher. I wanted to teach high school math. And so my first year, I majored in math, and then my minor was in secondary education. Now, luckily for me, my college threw you in like semester 1, which is actually not that common. A lot of like schools that have like colleges of education, like they'll prep you first, like the first year or two, and then after that they'll put you in. The first college I went to did not do that at all. They said, if this is what you want to do, let's make sure that you want to do it. We're going to throw you right in. And my first semester, I was in a first grade classroom, which is kind of ironic, seeing as I was a first grade teacher for the first 6 years. But my second semester, they threw me in a 7th grade science classroom. And although the content was cool, that age level, grade level was not for me at all. I felt super weird. I felt super uncomfortable being in there with them. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, that's not me. But teaching like first grade, like it was so fun because it's like I can make mistakes and it'd be okay. They were just excited to have somebody else in the room with them. And they just made it super fun. And I think that's what made me switch my major. Well, that, and to be a math major, you had to go to like calculus 3, and I barely passed calculus 1. So I was like, okay, math ain't for me. Long story short, my grandmother is who made me want to be a teacher. The experience made me want to be an elementary teacher. And it's not because it's easier, but it's more my speed is what I'm trying to say. So I hope that covered all the questions for that. So going to the first part, what my master's degree is in. My master's degree is in curriculum and instruction. That pretty much focuses on like how curriculum is built, why curriculum is built a certain way, what aspects of education does curriculum need to make sure they're paying attention to as far as like current teaching practices, how standards are formed, how to promote inquiry, like all that kind of stuff is kind of what my degree is focused in, which I really enjoy because I love that part of school. I'm not really so much the admin supervision type of person right now. I'm not really into that because it involves people, problems, and people's problems. And that's just not me at this point in my life. So I think I made a good choice in curriculum and instruction. The way that I would use that degree, it's part of my short-term and long-term goals. So my very short-term goal is to move into a academic coaching position where I can support teachers in whatever they need to support their students. That involves leading PD, co-modeling, co-teaching, looking at data, doing coaching cycles with teachers, that kind of thing. And then my long-term goal is kind of ambitious, but I want to be a district coordinator. So in every school district, you have like someone who's like a math coordinator or a reading coordinator, where like they're the person that's like oversees the content curriculum, and that they're the go-to person in the district for that kind of stuff. And that's what my long-term goal is. I wouldn't mind either one. I do have a preference for reading, but I'll take any. But that's my long-term goal with my degree. And then any advice for managing teaching in grad school? So I have, I think, a very unorthodox way of handling that. Number one, I don't think I have a really healthy work-life balance, which is okay. I can admit that wholeheartedly. When I'm super interested in something, I usually give it like 110 of my percent, and then everything else just falls to the wayside. But to answer the question, the way that I handled teaching in grad school is, if it's Monday through Friday, I'm focused on my job, which is teaching. So I don't come early. So that means I would stay after and get ready for the day ahead. And then if it's a Saturday or not even a Sunday, Saturdays, I would spend solely working on grad school coursework. Now, every semester, I think we only had like anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, which would mean we had 2 classes and like an hour seminar class, which is really just like talking with your cohort about like what's going on and if you need help with anything. But you would have at least 2 courses, those 2 courses. So what I would do is I would spend my Saturday at my college in the library from like 10 a.m. to like 3 or 4 p.m. just knocking out assignments and just getting it done and getting it out the way. And funny thing is, like, I didn't have to spend my entire semester at that library. I would spend, a semester is what, 4 months? I would spend 2 of those months doing coursework, and then the last 2 months I'd be done with everything. So I didn't have to worry about it. And that was a really good feeling for me, to just go ahead and get everything knocked out and out of the way. I know that some people don't operate like that. I also don't have to worry about anybody but myself. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have pets. And so I don't have really any other responsibilities other than myself. So that worked well for me because of how I like to do things, and because I don't have to worry about anyone but myself. But I know that not everybody's in that same scenario. So that's pretty much how I did it. And also another thing too, like all my professors, they would just open everything up at once, and you just kind of get it done at your leisure. They knew that like, oh, people in this getting this master's, like they're already teaching, they already have a whole plethora of stuff to worry about. We're not going to like have like dates of like open it on this day and then close it on this. And they're like, no, we're going to open it all on the first day, and we'll just close everything on the last day, which I was super grateful for. But that's how I managed teaching in grad school. It was 5 semesters, so 2 years, plus a summer. But it was cool. That's how I worked with it. And it's really great because I didn't go at it alone. I had 2 other people in my cohort that we could really rely on and really help each other out when we needed it. So great. So I think I'm really going to like 3rd grade. It was not something that like I really wanted to do, but it was more so like I needed to get this done to move to my next step, to be an academic coaching position. I've been told that I am a great teacher, that I am phenomenal in how I teach and getting kids, engaged and basically like getting good scores for 1st grade. But I lacked experience in a grade with high stakes, i.e. a tested grade, which is true. I've never taught a tested grade before. So, and with all this new stuff in Tennessee with retention and the task of getting test scores up and all that kind of stuff, like I get it. So to be honest, like that's the reason why I moved up from 1st to 3rd. If I didn't have to, I probably would not have. But I'm up for the challenge, and I'm super excited to see how this year goes. It is going to be totally new for me, but I'm excited for it. Yeah, but that's really the main reason why I moved up to 3rd grade, was that way I could get that experience in a tested grade, so I can move to my next step. And let's see. I know why you're nervous regarding the law. Yeah. When do you return to school? What are you planning for the first day with students? So I'm returning to school today. It's July 31st. Kids come back August the 7th. And I'm also going to hold off on telling you guys what I'm planning, because I plan on doing that in a whole other video. So you gotta wait for the next one for that. Sorry. Let's see what other questions were on here. Super quick, I want to talk about something that I want to say about classroom management. I feel like that there are a lot of people that think classroom management is giving rewards and this and that, which for the short term is very effective, but for the long term is very not effective. Your classroom management at its core is the expectations that you set in your room and the behaviors that you are telling your kids that you will basically put up with versus the ones that you won't. So that means your classroom management is going to be what rules you have in place, what procedures you have in place, and how are you going to handle behaviors when they arise. And for me, I am very strict. I'm not going to lie, especially when when school first starts. So first off, my rules in the classroom, they're the exact same as our school-wide rules. It's be respectful, be responsible, do the right thing. I teach my kids that respect means showing that you care for others, care for property, care for your environment, and care for yourself. I'll talk about responsibility being owning your actions. So doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you make a mistake, fix it. And then I teach the right thing as making smart choices. So that's going to be being honest, again, doing what you're supposed to be doing. Um, and also, again, something else, but I can't remember. But that's the gist of it. And we talk about what that looks like in our room. And we also talk about what it looks like when we're working, when I'm teaching, when you're doing something independent. And honestly, I feel like my classroom management has gotten so much better ever since we have gotten our new EL curriculum, which is EL education. They teach habits of character that are so beautiful if you are intentional about it. You guys might have seen I made posters about them that have each habit of character. I even added a habit of character, patience. And it is just so beautiful to see like kids learning what that stuff means, applying it to content, and then also applying it in real life and really getting that full circle of like, this is what it means to be like a good human, you know? But those are like my rules and those are my expectations, and I'm not going to allow you to fall below that. And then looking at procedures, I have a procedure for everything. There's a way that we come in the morning. There's a way that you get your breakfast. There's a way that you come to the carpet. There's a way that you line up. There's a way that you get your book box. There's a way that you get your work. There's a way that you turn in your paper. There's a way to do every single thing in this class. And we go over that the first week. And that's, again, here are my expectations. Here's how they relate to our rules in the room. And this is where the bar is, you know what I mean? And so that's what my classroom management is. Now, I do use strategies to help with that. And I think that's what a lot of you guys were asking for. What strategies do I use with that? And that's where my Kelly Bucks come in. Again, I know you guys see me get these prepped and ready for the year. So here are my ones. Here are my fives, and I'm not going to show any other ones because that's too much to mess with. But when I see kids that are following those expectations and doing the procedures like they're supposed to, that's when I start dishing out these Kelly Bucks. The more sacred, I guess, the higher the buck. And again, I have 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. I probably won't give out lots of like 20s, 50s, or 100s. That'll just be more for like if I'm running low on 1s and 5s. I'm like, okay, who wants to trade out? And they'll just trade like 21s for a 20 or 4 5s for a 20 or whatever, however they want to do that. So that's my management are my rules and expectations and procedures. My strategies for this will be Kelly Bucks. I also have my gumball machine that I'll use. I also have a jar of Skittles. I'll tell them to Skittle down. So they earn Kelly Bucks by doing desired actions. They lose Kelly Bucks by not doing the desired actions, and it's the opposite of those. And then every 2 weeks, I do a shop day. And basically what that is every other Friday, they count up how many Kelly Bucks they have. Last year it was tickets, but this year they're gonna do Kelly Bucks. And they can cash in their Kelly Bucks for different prizes. Now, I guess I gotta get up. Okay, you guys wanna see me hobble for a second? Okay, right over here, this is new. This is where I'm gonna be posting for our shop day, what's worth what. So down here at the bottom, we have $5 shop items. And then as we go up, the dollar amount increases. And then you also notice that there's some squares on there. And that's because I have some interchangeable rewards that I'll be putting up there. And now I gotta find where those rewards are, because I don't know where I put them. Oh, boom, right here. All right, well, first off, let's get y'all straight. There we go. Okay, so there are different rewards, and so far I have like 32 or 34 rewards. Obviously there's only 16 spots, so not every award's going to be up there. And I do that on purpose, and that's to give choice throughout the year. So some things that'll be like the $5, those will be things like sticker picker, where they'll just stick like, they'll pick a water bottle sticker, or stamp champ, they'll get a stamp on their wrist. Candy treasure box, that's real simple. And then some things that'll be worth a little bit more, like let's say $20, that'll be a free trip to the gumball machine, or bring a stuffed animal to school, or stinky feet, you can take your shoes off. Pay it forward, you spend $20 and then everybody else in the room gets $1. And then some things that'll be a little bit higher, like 50, that'll be like seat swap, or office chair, where they can like swap their chair out for the office chair, sit in the office chair for the day. Free pass, you could skip an exit ticket as long as it's not needed to progress through our unit. Music master, you could choose a song for us to listen to. And then you get the idea, we go higher and higher. Lunch bunch, choose 2 friends come with you. Recess hero, that's an extra 5 minutes of recess for the whole class. Let's compete. This is a new one that I saw online. Basically, it's like a 5-minute challenge where it's like, and it's like a class-based thing too. So it's like, who can make the paper airplane that can go the farthest? Or we'll go out to the track, who could run the fastest 2 laps? There's a gaga ball pit outside our room, so let's do a quick gaga ball match. Just, you know, something quick and fun. Teacher hot seat, that's where they can submit questions to me. I'll look over them and then like I'll answer whatever question they want to ask me. Mystery box, this one's another one that I found on the internet. It's literally, I just take an Amazon box and I just put random stuff inside of it that I really don't need, like maybe like some expo markers, or post-it notes, like a gel pen, or you know, just some weird stuff that is in here that I don't need. And they pay, they stick their hand in the box, and whatever they pull out is theirs. Chat break, PJ day, dojo selfie, so they take a selfie of them and their favorite work, and then I'll post it on dojo for all parents to see. A class directed drawing, pencil prize, teacher helper. This is where they could go to another classroom for 30 minutes and help a teacher of their choice. Book share, they can read a book to the class. Sweet tooth, this is where like I'll go to like the dollar store and get like the dollar candy, and they can choose something from that. Oh gosh. But yeah, tons of different stuff. And then like I said earlier, there's only enough for 2 per price. So I will, I heard some ding, lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Something about switching these out. Okay, so I will usually switch out the lower ticket items once a month. So like the $5, the $10, maybe even the $20, I'll change like every month. But the higher ticket items, especially like the 50, the 70, no. Especially like the $90 or the $100, I'll keep that up for 3 or 4 months at a time, because, and that'll probably be like teacher helper, or I can't think of another one right now. But teacher helper would definitely be one of those where it stays up probably till like November or December, because that's one that somebody will probably be working towards for an extended amount of time, and I want to make sure that they get that. And you know, they've been working really hard to save up their bucks, and so I want to make sure that they get the reward they're working towards. So the more that it costs, the longer they'll stay up. But that's pretty much how I'm using my Kelly bucks. I also am doing I think table points, where if a table gets 10 points, they just go to the gumball machine. In my gumball machine, I have gumballs, obviously, Starbursts. I have like those little silly bands that are like the little bracelets, and then when you take them off, they turn into different shapes and stuff. And there's also bouncy balls in there as well, so super cool. I'm using Friends of Pencils again this year, which if you've not heard of Friends of Pencils, I think I've talked about it before in another video in depth, but super quick on that one. That's where they each get 5 pencils every Monday. And I don't give them brand new pencils, just like I'll just sharpen their pencil. And each of their pencils has their number on it. So let's say I'm kid number 12 in my class, so all 5 of my pencils have number 12. And my job is from Monday morning to Friday afternoon, keep up with all 5 of my pencils. Doesn't matter if they're broken, doesn't matter if they're snapped in half, doesn't matter if the erasers came off. As long as you have those 5 pencils that have your number on it when we started, you are a friend of pencils. And I will resharpen pencils that you need resharpened. If any of them need to be replaced, I'll replace them. And then you will get a pencil prize little tag. And that is what you can redeem for a pencil prize. Now, pencil prizes are just super simple, super cheap. They're just prizes for your pencils. And so you might get something like as simple as a cap eraser. You can get like little fun 3D erasers. You can get like little pencil toppers. This one says Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. This one is an alien. This one is Batman. Fun stuff. Mechanical pencils are in here. Some little mini pencil sharpeners if they want that. I also have some other stuff somewhere in this room that has just different pencil prizey stuff. And again, I'll swap those out like every month as well. Actually, I'll swap these out like every 2 or 3 weeks because we do this weekly. But for 3rd grade, I guess we could do it every 2 weeks now that I think about it, because they're older. They should be more independent, more mature, be more responsible. Maybe I might do it every 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see how they do. But that is strictly for like keeping up with your like supplies and stuff though. But yeah. So that's it about my classroom management stuff. And I think I'm gonna wrap it up here because I think I'm starting to ramble. And I can't think of any more questions or find any more questions that I saw on YouTube. So thank you so much if you made it this far. Again, if I did not answer your question, type it in the comments below and I will be sure to answer it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.